Yuba-Sutter.live's local government live streams are presented by Plumas Lake Self-Storage in Plumas Lake, where lifelong local residents are helping other residents keep things safe, providing indoor storage units, outdoor RV and vehicle parking, moving supplies, and Penske truck rentals. Details at plumaslakeselfstorage.com.
Especially Pink October. So we're going to have dress-up days every Wednesday. You dress up in pink, support the cause. And we are having a door decorating competition between all the teachers in the school. So all third period teachers will compete against one another for prizes and bragging rights and whatnot. And then we are beginning planning for our fall festival, which is kind of in the distance, November 4th. But we got to start it now if we want to make it good. We have a lot of stuff in store for this fall festival because we did move Culture Day to next semester. We have clubs. They're going to come out, run games, do food, just a fun day for the kids. We have blow-ups, color dress-up days. We're going to have a petting zoo sponsored by FFA. So they're going to take out all of their animals and show it around and try to advertise FFA. And we're having a cakewalk as well. So, and then looking at Halloween, we are hopefully going to have a competitive Halloween costume contest just to see what our student body can come up with and what creative costumes they have in store for us. And in the distance, we do have a WASP observation coming up on October 24th to the 28th, I believe. So we're getting prepared for that to be the best River Valley can be. So thank you guys for your time, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your night.
Good report.
Hi, I'm Isabella Avila, student rep of YC, and as he did a recap last week for YC, on Friday we had our rally, which was actually very successful for homecoming. And also we had our homecoming parade. It turned out very well, as you saw if you looked in the newspaper. On Saturday we had our homecoming. We had about 400 people come. It was pretty cool. But now I believe we're having a food fair. There's a lot of clubs who are having all the paperwork and all the stuff that they want to make money. And also, if I remember this right, for homecoming dance, I believe the film club made about, 500? Or what was it? Something like that? For their club? 150? Oh yeah, 150 from all the pictures. And also, tomorrow we are having a Powder Puff meeting. And I believe that's about it that I can think of.
Thank you. Thank you. The next item is student recognition.
Oh, sorry, that's me. I'm going to introduce Paul Loomis, teacher from Rescind High School. We were very fortunate to be able to send this student to the National Debate Finals Championships. So Paul's going to introduce her very talented student.
Ladies and gentlemen, honorable members of the board, Superintendent Osumi, staff, ladies and gentlemen, it's a pleasure to be here. I'm going to introduce Stella Treebold, who is a junior at Yuba-City High School, and has accomplished some wonderful things, which she'll tell you about. When I first came to Yuba-City High School and started teaching in this district In 2017, there was a history of a robust speech and debate program in this district, but it was sort of inactive at that moment. We started the team again, and starting in 2018, we have moved students into qualified students for the National Speech Debate Honor Society every year. We have now qualified over 20 students since I've been working as the coach for the team. And these are members of the National Speech and Debate Honor Society, which is, there are members who are United States senators, justices of the Supreme Court, famous actors. Oprah Winfrey is a member of that famous organization. So it's a prestigious organization, and our high school students are moving into it by competing successfully. Stella Treebold started as a sophomore and competes in original oratory, which is a speech that she writes that has meaning for her. Reading, writing, speaking, listening, the 4 domains of the English language, as Ms. Pretty knows. We teach that in English. To be successful in speech and debate, you have to do all 4 and do them very well and integrate them at a high level. So Stella competes in original oratory. Her first tournament, she was in novice original oratory and then very quickly moved into varsity and then qualified for the state championship and then for the national championship, which she'll tell you about. All right, Stella Treebold.
Hello, everyone. Honorable board members, Superintendent Osumi, staff, ladies and gentlemen. I just want to thank you all for funding my trip to the National Speech and Debate Tournament this summer. It was a really good experience for me, one of the most valuable experiences in my life. It was a lot of fun. I got an opportunity to educate others about a topic that means a lot to me. Listen to other speeches by my peers, help me educate myself about various current events and social issues. And watching them perform really helped me learn how to maximize the power of my voice to be an advocate for causes that I believe in. And I think that's a really helpful skill that every student should have. I did not make it past preliminary rounds. I placed about 140th in about 260 people, but still being able to take advantage of that opportunity to go and represent White City was a really amazing experience. So, thank you guys.
Have the board present you with this award. Here, it's her award.
Perfect, thank you.
Thank you.
And now, people that make it happen, staff recognition.
Good evening, members of the board, staff, and audience members here this evening. Again, we stop to recognize members of our staff who have taken either unique or extraordinary measures to educate today's students to succeed in tomorrow's world, as our mission statement reads, or the staff member has acted to realize the YCUSD vision that our students and staff will be lifelong learners, creative problem solvers, and responsible, ethical, and respectful contributors in a global society. We take this time because we know recognition builds a work environment that realizes overall excellence by increasing productivity, promoting retention of top performers, and encouraging ongoing improvement. With that, I'd like to share the lectern with 4 of our managers that are here this evening to recognize the folks whose names are on the sheet that are before you. And then President Riley, would the board like to hand these out to folks as we go, and then Lori will snap a quick picture?
Yeah.
All right, perfect. Also, board members, we have posted From last time's meeting, the 4 recipients of the Certificate of Excellence, those numbers are on the website, and we're going to add these 4 to the website, and then we'll call more attention to it off of the main page so that there's a link right from there, so we keep highlighting our staff who are demonstrating excellence in the work that they do. All right. And managers, you know who you are, so you can go in any order you would like. Rocco, you're up.
You don't have to offer the mic twice to me.
Nope.
You don't need a mic. No, I got an outdoor voice. Thank you everybody for having us here tonight. So tonight we are honoring one of the employees from AK School. And before I introduce her, I want to say when we come up with these awards, we initially start talking about the idea of exemplary performance. And that wouldn't be why Marina is here today. She's an excellent employee. We expect that of everyone at AK. That's just the way it is. Marina Acosta is here with us tonight for several other reasons. So there was a lot of struggles in getting the year started. They're having to deal with a new principal coming in, getting the master schedule up, programmed. She did an amazing job of filling everything in, making sure all the data was done correctly, all the files were up to date. We didn't have any parents or kids that asked for transfers or movement, and anyone who's been at a school knows that's huge. So all of the requests and stuff that came in from the teachers the year before was honored and done correctly. So that's all amazing. Why we're really here today is the customer service side of things. And so looking at what we do at AK and how we serve the public, Marina exemplifies that. So Marina is one of those people who, when you come into the office, she's going to help you, and you're going to feel like family. You're going to feel like when you came in, you got everything that you needed. It could be in English, it could be in Spanish. She's bilingual, which I wish I was. She's able to help everyone. And you leave with people smiling. You leave with that feel that you were welcomed at the school. So through all the registration of people coming in, that's huge. I think what put her over the top and brought her here tonight is Marina is also the kind of employee that realizes it takes a village. It's not just administration, it's not just teachers. Everybody there at the school has the ability to have an impact on a child's life. So Marina's the kind of employee who eats at her desk during her lunchtime so that she can take her lunch break in order to grab some of our harder to reach students and bring them in and tutor. So she's taken 2 or 3 under her wing, and during the lunchtime they're in our reflection room in the office, and she's tutoring them in math or other things because she understands that it takes a village, and she would rather eat while she's doing her work, which she does very well, but going beyond in order to wrap around a few extra students to help us get that little bit of edge on kids that are maybe starting to slip through the cracks. So for that reason, we're here tonight to honor and give reward to Marina Acosta. She has to give a 2-minute speech, right? Sure.
Thank you, Ryan. Perfect, thank you. Congratulations. I know, I'm so sorry. No, you're fine. Thank you. Thank you.
So, governing board members, and assuming, I'd like to thank you all for allowing us to be here today. I'd like to welcome Jim Becker, who he's the one I'm going to give an award to today. The reason for that is quite clear. This year, at the start of the year, we had a little bit of trouble with Aries. For those of you who don't know, as a matter of fact, you hinted at that, Rocco, very well. So thank you for setting that up for me. So with that said, we were able to get the system back up and running and everything going wonderfully, but if it wasn't for Jim Becker, we wouldn't be able to get it running smoothly, quickly, or probably at all. So I have to thank him for doing that. He put in long hours. He won't ever tell you how many hours he put in, but he put in long hours and at night and weekends, and he was just tireless in his tenacity to get that done, and a problem solver, true problem solver. So we couldn't have done it without him. So I thank him for all that he's done. And I wanted to, he's been here for over 20 years in the district. It's the first award he's getting. So I appreciate you, Jim, and please come up here and get your award. This is an important award, but this is even more important award here. This is a little rubber ducky award. So it's the first one we're giving in our department. We'll be giving this to all folks who do excellent work, and that was what Jim is. He's excellent. So thank you very much.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. We're gonna dance around this thing. Yeah, sorry.
Robert, let me get you.
No, I'm good.
In here with Jim, it's a lifetime shirt. Come on, he's on vacation. This is a once in a lifetime moment, guys. Picture I will take a picture from. Doreen's gonna sneak in. Oh, I want to get this picture. This is the one that's important to us. 1 second, Robert. Come on,
That's perfect. That's perfect.
You made it all possible. That's right. Okay. Thank you.
Good evening, board members, cabinet members, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Raj Baines, and I'm the principal of Tues School. And tonight I have the honor of recognizing an exemplary employee on our campus. He's our custodian, and he's been with us for 17 years. So George Chavez is our custodian, and George has been a member of the Turbine staff for 17 years, almost 18 in November. And he is just one of those employees that goes above and beyond, takes great pride in his work. For the past 6 months, we have been without a head custodian, and George assumed that role, trained the other members on our campus. We're down a custodian, essentially, and the lead person, he took that role and just, when the staff came back in August, the campus was spectacular. I mean, the cleanest it's ever been. So he took the time to train everybody, to just make sure that students and staff felt welcomed on the first day back. And I told him he's a head custodian in my eyes, and he should be applying for those jobs, but he loves the role that he's in so much, and he loves the school so much that he doesn't ever want to leave. So he is, I don't know, just one of those employees that has a can-do, will-do attitude. He's reliable, he's a problem solver. When there's an issue, and you know there's always an issue on campus, he comes forward with solutions. It's not just, here's the problem. He says, here's the problem, and this is, we can go A, B, or C. What do you think? So I appreciate him so much, and you know, in August we had a motivational speaker come, and he happened to be a former pro boxing champion, and he gifted our staff with a championship belt. And he said, this is for your staff. It has an eagle on it. And I said, it doesn't need to sit in my office. We need to give this to the real heroes on campus. So our staff was nominating people, and George was the first person to get that belt. The staff unanimously just agrees that he is exceptional. So today we had to take that belt because we're doing a monthly recognition and give it to somebody else. And he joked that he was going to wrestle the person. So not only is he just a great employee, he's funny, he's likable, and he's just all around reliable. So.
Thank you very much.
Good evening, everyone. I'm so glad I'm not speaking after the national chess speech and debate for discussion. My name is Yuba-Sutter, and I'm the Director of Child Development Programs for Yuba City Unified. And it is a great honor to both celebrate and recognize a pillar of our early learning community. Ms. Carmen Chavez has been with our program since 1989. Her loyalty is commendable, but what impresses me the most about Carmen is you walk in her room and you still see the enthusiasm of a first-year teacher. Much stronger classroom management, way more instructional tools in her belt, but the enthusiasm and love for her kids as a first-year teacher. She does it all. Over 3 decades, she has ensured that every single one of our children have every opportunity every single day. She has decades of students, generations of students. I learned tonight that someone she hired to work in her home was one of her former students. So she has made countless positive relationships with these students. In addition, as a bilingual educator, she has both built and sustained positive relationships between school and home. And if we can do that, we can do anything. She values her family, she values her students, and she's open. Anytime I ask her if she can help out with anything, she just says, yes, just tell me what to do, and I'll let you know if I need any additional support. Rarely she does, but I'm so proud of her if she needs to ask. Ms. Travis deserves all these accolades and many more tonight. I am honored to recognize her for all she has done for our youngest learners in this district. Okay? Today, tomorrow, yesterday, for 30 years and counting. Thank you, Ms. Carmen, for everything.
There you go.
That's a great job.
Vaughn, you want to get the picture? Thank you. Okay, thanks.
On behalf of the board, I want to congratulate all of you and always remember how important you are to this district. It's everybody, and as somebody said, it takes a village. It absolutely does. And so don't ever negate the importance that you have to this district in making our students successful. So again, board, let's. Next order of business, comments from the public and items not on the agenda. I believe we have one item.
I'm going to go ahead and read
Yes.
the notes. So I'm going to read actually both. So starting with items not appearing on the agenda, the Brown Act, specifically Government Code Section 54954.2, provides that no action or discussion shall be taken on any item unless it is adequately described in a timely posted agenda. Accordingly, though the public may comment on matters within the board's jurisdiction that do not appear on the agenda, the board cannot respond to such comments without running the risk of deliberating or initiating discussion on topics not properly before the board. Given the prohibitions set forth in the Brown Act and the risk associated with responding to public comments, the board does not respond to the community's questions or comments. The board will respect the rights of the public to express their viewpoints on matters within the board's jurisdiction. However, comments that are defamatory or that violate the privacy rights of any students or individuals may not be protected by law. The board shall not permit any disturbance or willful interruption of board meetings. Items posted on the agenda, notice to the public. Under the Brown Act, the board shall entertain comments on any item appearing on the posted agenda. As the board discusses agenda items, audience participation is permitted. Generally, the president will ask board members for their remarks before recognizing requests to speak from the audience. At the president's discretion, agenda items may be considered in other than numerical order. The board will respect the rights of the public to express their viewpoints on matters within the board's jurisdiction. However, comments that are defamatory or that violate the privacy rights of any students or individuals may not be protected by law. The board shall not permit any disturbance or willful interruption of board meetings. So we have one document to read, and names have been omitted. So this is from Gary Klein. I would like for this to, I would like for this to please be read at the Yuba City Unified Board meeting on Tuesday, September 27, 2022, during agenda item 15, written communication from the public. Hello, my name is Carrie Klein, and I am writing this letter because I would like to obtain some answers to some questions that I have, and I'm sure others have as well. I have seen advertisements all over town, bus drivers needed, come join our team. I have a friend that drives school buses, so I called her to see how she liked driving a school bus. After our conversation, I decided that this was something that I would like to do, and I feel I would be good at it. I spoke to the director of your transportation department and was told how badly this district needed bus drivers on the road. So I started the process to become one of your bus drivers. The process to become a bus driver is very rigorous, so I quickly did the books and began to study. I completed the required 20 hours of classroom training, passed my Class B test at DMV, as well as my passenger and air brake endorsement tests. I then headed to CHP and passed my rules and regulation test and CPR/first aid test. I started the hiring process with your district and was fingerprinted, drug tested, and had a TB test done and read. I then began my behind the wheel training with the transportation department's driver trainer A. I was on my way. In the middle of my behind the wheel training, I was told by the director that I would no longer be training with my current trainer and was introduced to another trainer named Trainer B. I was told that she would now be taking over my training. Trainer B initially stated that she could train according to LOL, how people learn. But almost immediately, there were many difficulties and I started to struggle. She displayed very little patience and, in my honest opinion, had no intention of training other than one way, her way. She also did not know that me and the other two trainees, were already currently being trained, which meant we had to start all over, learning it her way, excuse me. I feel it lost us so much valuable time. I was trying not to feel discouraged, but quite honestly, I now felt I had lost a week, maybe even two. It was very hard switching from one trainer to another mid-training and having to learn what we had already learned in a completely different way. I was scolded and made to feel stupid on more than one occasion by this trainer. Being made to feel this way was uncalled for and quite humiliating. Due to the new trainer's availability, I was giving up my time on the weekends to do this training. Many times I found myself questioning if it was even worth it. To be away from my husband and my son, as weekends are the only time I have with them due to our own schedules, but I'm eager and excited to drive a bus, as I love driving and I love kids, so I will persist. With the way I was feeling, the difficulties I was experiencing, I decided to touch base with the director by sending her an email about how the training was going. Shortly after I sent the email, I received a phone call from the director stating that I was no longer needed, that I was no longer a good fit. I'm still in utter shock that everything was fine with all of my training until I switched to a new trainer. Expected to learn her way and was let go mid-training because I expressed that I was having difficulties due to being switched over and having to backtrack and retrain my brain. I feel as though I have been done wrong. I never should have been taken from the first trainer, asked to learn a different way, setting me back a couple of weeks. I was given to a trainer who had very little patience for me or any questions that I had. I was doing well under Trainer A, and I feel as though I would have been very successful and possibly ready to take my test had I been allowed to complete my training with her. She had excellent communication skills. She was kind, she was patient, she answered every question that I had and made me feel confident through each step in the process. I'm disheartened with this entire situation and the way it has been handled. I still want to drive a school bus and you still need drivers, unless the signs and what I hear around town is wrong. I would still very much like to work for your transportation department, so can you please help me understand just what went wrong, where I went wrong? However, If you really don't need school bus drivers and I'm not going to be allowed to complete my training, I ask that you reimburse me the $182 I paid to DMV, CHP, and to have a TB test. Thank you for your time. Sincerely.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. As was stated previously, the board does not comment on letters received or comments from the public. So it's not that we're not listening, we just by process and policy are not allowed to do it. So please understand that. Consent agenda.
Madam, before we go into consent agenda, do we want to let the students know that if they don't want to sit through the whole board meeting, they've already given their presentation, they're more than welcome to leave if they would like?
I'm just waiting for 12A.
Okay, all right, that's fine. Oh, there you go.
Is there any item that any board member wishes taken off the consent agenda?
Can I, will 12B please?
We'll take 12B separately. May I have a motion on the remaining items?
I want to make a comment on 12A?
Oh, I'm just waiting to see what's being said.
Oh, basically nothing's gonna be said about it.
Oh.
We're just gonna vote.
We're gonna vote it. It's on the consent agenda, which we just consider approved.
Yeah.
I can make a motion to approve items on consent agenda minus 12B.
I'll second. So it's been approved, so.
We have,
sorry.
That makes me happy.
sorry, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
There you go.
Thank you guys.
Yes.
It was the cross-country state championships field trip. 12B, I just had a couple of questions pertaining to one piece. I think it's a CAM question. And we talked a little bit about this with regards to Lexia learning systems. Can you just kind of explain that a little bit more, like in what capacity it'll be used?
Lexia Learning is a supplemental resource that's been purchased to support teachers with resources for working with their English learners, specifically the lower level English learners, 1s and 2s.
So will it be with gen ed students or like, excuse me, not gen ed students, will it be with the general ed teachers or is it something that'll be specific to ELD teachers? Accessible.
It's accessible to general education students and teachers as well as special education students as needed.
So I guess let me clarify, sorry. My understanding of English language learners and ELD is that we have ELD teachers. It might not be for elementary maybe, but
that's only at middle school and high school we would have ELD teachers.
So in middle school to high school, this program would be primarily accessible by the ELD teachers, correct? Not the English language arts teachers?
Correct.
And then for elementary, it'd be for the gen ed teachers?
Correct.
Okay. I use this program on a daily basis, or almost daily basis. I really like this system. I think it's a great purchase for the school district. I guess my only concern for the board is just when teachers are gonna have the time to be able to, I guess, implement it in the way that it's intended to be implemented.
Right now, this is a relatively new resource. It's something that our general education teachers at the elementary level have asked for additional resources to help those students at the lowest levels. So we are working with this and the teachers love it so far. So we will continue to use it as long as they find it supportive to what they're trying to do. It is very challenging at in the elementary grades in particular when you have multiple levels of English learners in your classroom. Sometimes the supplemental support is needed.
Yeah, and I guess I can talk about this actually maybe later when it's board comments because that's very helpful and I'm thinking something else as well. But thank you, that clarifies all my questions. I'm ready to make a motion.
Please.
I make a motion we approve 12B.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. The next are action items. We'll start with student cases. We have one.
I make a motion that we approve this discussed in closed session.
I'll second the motion. We have a motion and a second to approve the student case that was discussed in closed session. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Abstain.
Pardon, oh, I'm sorry, Jasmine.
Abstain.
We have one abstention. Laura, that's Jasmine Downey.
Thank you.
13B, Board Resolution BR 223-07. A public hearing for compliance with the pupil textbook and instruction materials. Public session is now open for comments. Okay. Hearing closed. Oh, okay, I didn't.
Closed, but I think then it becomes our discussion.
Yes.
I just want to commend you guys for finding some of those foreign language textbooks. I know that was something that we talked about during our board priority, so thank you for finding something. While, I mean, 2005 is still pretty old. I mean, I don't want to date myself because that's, yeah. But I appreciate the fact, in 1991. But I appreciate the fact that you guys found something and you guys were looking. So, especially when it comes to foreign language, so I appreciate that. It's just the only comment
There are any comments?
Well, actually, can I do one more? Sorry. When it comes to textbooks and when we're having I know like they're displayed for anybody to come and use them. Is it possible if we can be notified of that too? Like, I know you guys posted online, but maybe through like a Friday message, like, hey, FYI, there's gonna be, thank you.
We have a motion for 13B.
Make a motion we approve. Well, 13B?
Second the motion.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 13C, Aries Student Systems Renewal. We have a report from staff.
So, yes, this is a standard, regular recurring item. This is our student information system, Aries, that we, all of the teachers and staff use. Nothing particularly different about this versus prior years. I guess the only one note is we will be moving to Aries cloud-based system instead of a hosted system, so that will be happening at some point this year.
Can you explain that?
So yes, hosted cloud-based system, it's all handled on their servers, so that all the security is they take care of all that instead of being on our servers where we have to manage all that security. So they just do all the maintenance of the patches and the upgrades and all that type of stuff and manage the security. So it's supposed to be a more secure and more updated system that they take care of.
A little less human error.
Well, I don't know about that.
There's still garbage in, garbage out, right?
Yeah.
So you have to make sure your data's
I think I recall Aries was the one that had some additional programming, right?
yes, Aries. This is a good thing to be moving to. Yes, this is a very good thing.
Gotcha.
I have one question about it.
Please.
When we move into this new areas, I know that for years, teachers and other staff at the schools have asked for better notification of like student triggers and things like that. Will this be able to do that?
To be honest with you, I don't know. I don't have the in-depth knowledge of the functionality of that type of stuff. But we could possibly have somebody report back to the board.
Is this a version upgrade as well?
What's that?
Will this be like a newer version of the software as well?
I think we're updated even on our hosted, but it'll have a slightly different functionality, I believe, as you move to
It's better.
It's better.
Or do you have additional questions?
The motion that we approve the item.
Second. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 13D,
Thank you. I bring forward a request to rescind bylaw 9015. This is a bylaw that actually Yuba City is probably the only district in the state of California that has. It was created in September of 2011 at the request of the board at the time. And CSB does not and has never recommended this policy. In reviewing our policies, Fagan, Friedman, and Fullfrost brought forward some concerns regarding this actual bylaw and strongly recommended to me that the policy is not enforceable under California law and is actually a void against public policy and should be rescinded and revoked. This was actually confirmed by a second legal firm that was reviewing our policies. And so just simply put, school board members do not enjoy governmental immunity. They engage in any legal or unlawful activities, and therefore, as a matter of law, this bylaw is not enforceable and should be rescinded. So my recommendation is that the board rescind bylaw 9015.
Basically, it also says that when you step outside your role as a board member, you're no longer protected by what is known as qualified immunity. It's only when you're within the scope of your job. Do we have any questions?
I don't think we have qualified immunity regardless, right? That's what you're saying? I don't think we have, whether we're in the capacity of the board member.
Qualified immunity means that the district will assist you if it's a flagrant. We know what our roles are as board members. When we step outside those roles and engage in other behaviors, the qualified immunity that would normally protect you because you're doing what you were elected to do protects you.
So also in rescinding this is because it is, clarification is that there is the ability to file a complaint against a board member if in fact they've engaged in any type of illegal activity. So this is why recommendation by F3 is that we rescind this bylaw.
I have a question, I guess not specific to the vote tonight, just a more of a concern. Did a law firm review this policy when it was passed in 2011?
I'm not sure. I was probably the only one on the board at the time, Mr. Westbrook, so I'm not sure.
So
It's a good question.
Yes, but it was actually drafted by a previous law firm.
So I would express a concern about that.
Do we still contract?
Time changes, laws change.
Okay, one question at a time, Jasmine.
Do we still contract with this law firm?
So yes, currently that firm does. We continue to do some business with that.
Are there additional questions?
I make a motion we approve.
I'll second that motion.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The next item is board reports, information and discussions.
What facility was we supposed to move?
Conversation about that.
So what's the question?
We were supposed to have a meeting, we were gonna set up a meeting to talk, we felt like it was about time because of all the changes in facilities.
So, I met with Mark Button about that, and so he's identifying what he considers his budget request that might be above and beyond what's currently in the budget. So once we identify that, if that's the board's will, we'll move forward with that, that committee.
And also just, we also will need a representative from the governing board for the master facility committee. So I would ask that the board identify a board member to sit on that committee as the
Facilities master plan.
committee. So a representative that will go through the remainder of the school year. So I know that
I'm on the facilities committee and the only one with the guaranteed slot in December. I would be interested in that. I'm on the facilities committee.
Objection. So someone who's on the facility committee who will also be returning board member.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Gotcha.
We don't know yet if Greg's not gonna be here.
Because I said guaranteed.
Well, yeah. Greg or Mr. Reed, could you contact the personnel committee members, and we'd like a meeting in October, please. There are a number.
Is there a specific agenda or somebody I should speak to about items that are wanting to be talked about?
Those that are on the personnel committee, if you have items that you wish to discuss at that meeting, contact them, but we have a number of personnel, well, just things we need to talk about.
You got it.
Are there any other committee meetings that the board wishes to have characterized?
Yeah, I'd like to have a technology committee meeting. We haven't had it in a while, and now you have the director. It'd be good to kind of see what its views are. That's probably just me. I
was just saying, who's on it?
That would just be me. I don't remember because I've always been the only one that.
Laura can remind us, Greg's on committees.
Do you want to list
No,
out?
we do it on a Friday.
Okay.
I'll send the list out.
Are there any communications, Madam Clerk, from the community?
We don't have labor.
Well, I'm looking at, there are some items missing
Yeah, there's some items missing.
on the agenda. Rescipients.
Oh, I didn't notice that part was missing.
You'd remind me.
I guess. Been doing this for a while. Good evening, board members, members of staff, it's like staff, and the public who may be out there still watching. I'm Yuba-Sutter, President of the City Teachers Association. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak tonight. It's that time of year. Open enrollment for medical benefits for your YCTA certificated employees. We are with California Value Trust, and unfortunately, like everybody else, are experiencing increase in rates, with rates going up in a variety of. Somebody. Hi. I'm always looking at my back. I threw me off. Thank you. All right. Anyway, so we're always looking for ways to help control those rates. But those rates of increasing about $100 a month really are a continuing burden as we look at continually rising prices for everything else. The cost of basic coverage has risen to more than $700 out of pocket for most teachers, and even $1,000 if you have a family that you're looking to provide reasonable coverage for. We all need to find solutions to ensuring that we can protect the health and welfare of all of our employees. YCTA this last week hosted the CBT rep at our office from 3 to 6 on Wednesday afternoon, and from 2 to 6 on Wednesday afternoon, 3 to 6 on Thursday afternoon. YCTA members could drop into the office and ask any number of questions to figure out how do I navigate 8 different plans, and what's the deductibles and co-insurances, and why do I pick this one, how much does this cost? Questions. So it was wonderful to give that service to our members. In addition, YCTA is working with CBT to host a flu clinic at our office. Well, not flu shot clinic. No, better get the flu. And also a wellness clinic. We've had those before, where CBT can come in and do the cholesterol checks, the blood pressure checks, the weight and height, and give you recommendations on maintaining wellness. Those are all ways we are trying to help support the health and welfare of district employees. I want to address the ways in which staff are stepping up and do so on a regular basis. We are short-staffed in all areas around Yuba City Unified, with the teaching staff and the sub-teaching staff, no exception. Teachers are stepping up to sub for each other. As a matter of fact, even DO admin are stepping up to sub in classrooms. I ran into Martin Ramirez coming out of room 205 the other day. I heard Tito was on our campus. Mary was on our campus. I can't tell you how many people are stepping up to cover for teachers who are absent. I myself subbed 2 periods today, so we're all a little busy. But in addition to that, YCHS was unable to hire an art teacher. Well, actually 2 art teachers. One of those positions was filled by YCHS art teachers teaching on their prep period. But yet, there was still an unfilled art position at Yuba City High School. It was being filled by a sub, and that's just not good. So some people got together with some creative solutions. I understand that the RVHS art department stepped up to help. People on our own campus stepped up to help. And the current plan is that an RV art teacher is going to split her time between RV and YC to cover that art so that those students have a credentialed art teacher. Your employees are stepping up and coming up with creative solutions. We are working with the district to continue to communicate on those creative solutions. In addition to another creative solution, physics credentials. Hard to find art teachers, hard to find people with physics credentials. There are currently 4 teachers in this district with a physics credential. Oh, okay, 4 plus me. There are 5, I suppose, people with physics credentials. That means we're short-staffed on physics as well. There's no physics, no person with a physics credential at Albert Powell, no person with a physics credential at YCIA, but a YCHS teacher has stepped up to help. Same thing is true about art at YCIA. There's an art teacher at River Valley High School who's stepping up to help. It takes a team, and we're all working together in difficult times to address the shortage. We're all going to also have to keep looking at how do we address the shortage? How do we attract and retain the very best employees for Yuba City Unified and for our students in our community? We'll continue that discussion on another time, as I'll bring to you things like the UCLA Center for Transforming Schools and their findings on attracting and retaining educators for the classroom. And then finally, in closing, I'd like to say, I am here tonight, even though I should have been at home watching the Yankees clinch the AL East. But here I am, they clinched. Thank you very much.
I apologize for going off schedule, but on your laptop, item 15 says communications, and on the paper one it has listed. So, Laura, I apologize for that because they don't match. Okay. Comments from board members?
3. I have a couple of comments. One, I just want to continue to advocate for additional prep time for elementary teachers. As I mentioned before, they only get 2 preps per week, and that often is just the period for their PE, so it's about 50 minutes, 55 minutes, give or take. And it's really hard, actually, excuse me, they don't even get prepped twice a week, you get prepped once a week, excuse me. It's usually during the PE and the partner teacher, so one takes, anyways, they get 1 prep, 50 minutes a week, and they're responsible for teaching every single subject for the entire day. And when there's a teacher out or when they have to sub during their prep time, I can only imagine how difficult it is and where they have to find the time to print, to prep, to do X, Y, Z. I'd really like to implore the board to recommend us finding a solution for that. The other thing is I really appreciate the recognitions that are being brought up. I think this is the second board meeting where we've been able to hear great things about the employees. Is there a plan, I guess this is the question, but is there a plan to maybe, like, can we do more? Is there another capacity in which we can do that besides just a certificate? Maybe we can, like, what? I don't know. Just, I don't know what we can do, what we can't do, but, you know, just throwing that out there. And then the last thing, as I mentioned at the previous board meeting, I didn't have as much, not willingly, but I didn't have as much of an appreciation for all the things that elementary school teachers do until I was in that shoe. right? And so I think that's the case for anything. I wouldn't have as much appreciation for whatever job it is unless I'm in those shoes. So I just like to recommend to the cabinet to come out and sub. See what the needs are in a classroom, whether it's for the full day, whether it's for a portion of your day. Come look at what's happening in special ed and SDCs, what the needs are to really just make it relevant again, you know? So that's just my 2 cents, and that's.
They have to just sit there and watch. So.
No, not board members, I mean cabinet, you know, so that's what I meant.
Thank you, board members.
I would just like to say that I've been absent for 2 meetings, but I'm back. I was in another country, I was in England, and it was the trip I was supposed to take right after retirement, but COVID happened, so I finally got to take it, and I'm back, and I plan on being back. So, thank you very much.
Were you there when the Queen passed?
We were there when the Queen passed. We were actually, there's a little town in England that has our last name. It's Pretty England. And we were in a pub playing cribbage. And there was 2 couples having dinner at a table next to us. And one of the men looked at his phone and said, "Oh my gosh, the Queen has died. Raise your glass." And so everyone in the pub raised their glass. And then it was so touching. He burst into loud, sobbing tears and left the pub. So, yeah, that was interesting. And then a few days later, we were in Windsor and we were able to go to the Long Walk and see all the flowers that were being left. Flowers and Paddington bears and notes, and some kids were leaving peanut butter and jelly sandwiches for, I mean, it was interesting. And people, I have to say, one of the things that impressed me so much is you've got these throngs and throngs of people. I mean, thousands of people, and there's no disturbance. And they're respectful, and they're quiet, and they're kind to each other, and they don't push and shove each other out of the way. It was very reassuring about humanity to see that.
The British culture is a little bit different. I went to school there, and I was there when Princess Diana married Charles.
Yeah.
And you're right, they are very, very respectful.
Now, like, how do we get there?
And any other comments, board members? The next board meeting is October 11th. If there's no other business for the good of the order, may I have a motion to adjourn? We have a motion to adjourn. All those in favor? Aye. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Yuba-Sutter.live's local government live streams are presented by Plumas Lake Self-Storage in Plumas Lake, where lifelong local residents are helping other residents keep things safe, providing indoor storage units, outdoor RV and vehicle parking, moving supplies, and Penske truck rentals. Details at plumaslakeselfstorage.com. Skip's Marysville Music Cafe, with lessons, in person and personalized. Instruments including guitars and amps, horns, strings for instruments, and a myriad of music and sound equipment. Skip's Marysville Music Cafe.